Good morning, Paul Moon from 2Start Training. Welcome to another one of our short little clips. Behind me today I've got two of our vehicles. This is a Cat C rigid vehicle. This is a C+E articulated vehicle, so one with the trailer on the back. So first of all, how do you actually get your license? Well, first of all, you need to do an LGV medical. This will be booked with a local practitioner, where they will fill out a D4 medical form which they will sign to say that you're physically fit enough to drive these vehicles. You will also need to fill out a D2 application form. This is applying for your provisional license, a Category C+E or provisional C on your license to drive one of these. You also then enclose in an envelope the D4, the D2 and your driving license and send to the DVLA for them to update your license. Now, you won't actually get a physical change to your card on your license, okay? It's just in the background. If you did a license check on yourself on the online system, you will get to see the provisional entitlement has been added. So once you've sent your license away, now's the time for you to start practicing your theory tests. So your theory tests can be practiced online, and we've got our hazard perception, multiple choice and our initial module 2 CPC theory tests. Those are the three that you need. CPC module 2 if you're driving commercially. If you're not driving commercially, for instance, you're only going to be an ambulance driver, something along those lines, then you don't actually need to do the module 2. Once you've got your license back from DVLA, give us a call at 2Start. We'll book your theory tests in for you, get them passed, and then we're ready to go, where you can jump into one of our trucks here. So depending on the category you'll go into, you can now go straight from a car straight into this truck here. Slightly longer course you would need in this vehicle, or you can go into a rigid truck, which is this one here, which is normally 4 or 5 days depending on your experience. So what's the difference between a Category C and a C+E vehicle when it comes to the testing? Well, you have the on-road drive exactly the same time on the road, exactly the same sort of routes that are used on the road for a Category C or the C+E. The big difference comes to the trailer element on the actual back of the tractor unit. This bad boy needs to be detached from the tractor unit, and the tractor unit pulled alongside the trailer. It then needs to be recoupled and then checked to make sure it's safe to go out on the road. So I know you're aware that you can go straight to a Class 1 from a car license now, or you can do the rigid truck, which is a Category C LGV2. It's quite a big jump from going from a car straight to an Arctic, so perhaps you might want to consider, let's do this a step at a time. So this is our Cat C rigid vehicle here. You can see it's shorter in length. It's a rigid body, so it doesn't actually bend halfway down like it does with our Arctic. Some people say, is it easier to drive? You'll get different opinions from different people. As you get more experience, the driving an Arctic generally will become easier than what it will with a rigid, because an Arctic is more manoeuvrable. However, a shorter vehicle on the road will be ideal for companies, for instance, that are doing local deliveries or builders, merchants, etc. Ideal for companies that are doing local deliveries or for builders, merchants. So not everybody requires to do the Class 1. So the Category C LGV2 route could be the route for you. So once you have passed your theory test, you're then ready to do your driver training in one of these vehicles. We have our rigid Cat C vehicle on my left. On my right we have the articulated vehicle, which is the tractor unit and trailer. So there's two main parts of the practical test that which you need to complete. We have the 3A, which is the reversing exercise. This is a reverse in a simulated S shape into a garaged area and stop before a barrier into a hatch box. Okay, look out for one of our other videos for that, and we go through the total reversing exercise. The other part is called the 3B, and this is the actual on the road drive with the DVSA examiner. Luckily at Two Start Training we have a number of different locations where we are the actual test centre. So as soon as you start driving with us, you're straight out on those test routes. There's no arduous drive to go to a different test centre. You can start at the test centre itself and start practicing on those roads. One of the vital elements that we must check on all of our vehicles before they go out on the road is checking our tyres. So one of the things that we're going to check on our tyres first of all is to make sure it's correctly inflated. Visual check, just to make sure that the tyre doesn't look flat. You don't have to get a tyre pressure gauge on it every time, but it is recommended probably once a week just to check your tyre pressure gauges if you haven't got the facility in the cab to do it that way. Another item we're going to be checked is the tread depth. Okay, on a truck tyre we need 1 mm of tread depth, 3/4 of the width of the tyre throughout the whole circumference. Okay, so you'll notice on the treads that there's some flat points on the tyre, and that's here. That's perfectly fine. You're looking at the tread there in between. Okay, minimum of 1 mm of tread depth. You're also going to look, while you're looking at the tread, anything embodied in the tyre. So if you've got any nails, any bolts or any stones, if you've got the twin tyres at the back for example, anything that gets caught in between the two tyres that could cause friction and cause the tyres to fail. We're going to be checking the general condition of the tyre. Make sure there's been no failure to the sidewalls where the tyre inside has failed. Make sure there's been no big cuts or gashes in the tyre, and make sure that the outer wall and that hasn't been rubbed away. So you can check the overall condition of the tyre, the inside and the out. Make sure that the outer side of it hasn't been worn away, so there's no failure in the outside wall where a bulge could appear in the tyre. And when you're checking the outside edge, you can also just to make sure that the date of the tyres is in date. So remember, when you're checking your tyres, act. Air pressure, condition of the tyre and the tread. So start your two-start journey today.